Hello guys, here is your teacher Rafael, and as you know, I'm going to teach you English. So, our subject today is really interesting and very challenging as well because we're going to learn many new words. So, beauty throughout time. Yes, I want you to think about the evolution of beauty. Okay? And we have been living in a very toxic society. So we are going to talk a little bit about that. So, now guys, I want to ask you, have the standards of beauty changed? What do you think? Yes or no? Yeah, in my opinion, I strongly believe it have a lot actually. So, history shows that standards of beauty are constantly changing. The same thing that was very common and we used to do in the 90s, nowadays it sounds like weird, yes? So, has the role of women and the concept of beauty, also perceptions surrounding beauty and body types not only vary by culture but have evolved significantly throughout history. Yes, it's not only by time, but by cultures as well. Yes, Brazilian people have one conception of beauty, and Japanese and Chinese and people from Arabia, other cultures, they have different concepts of beauty, what's beautiful or not. Yes. So guys, we are going to go through a timeline through the history, and you are going to learn many different cultures and beauty concepts, okay? So let's start here in the ancient Egypt, 1292 recent after Christ, yes, and 1069 before Christ. So, in this era, the ideal beauty was described as slender, narrow, shoulders, high waist, symmetrical face. You can see that in many different pictures from the old Egypt, yes, ancient Egypt. In ancient Egypt, women were encouraged in their independence and beauty. This word is very important because we are copying nowadays something that the Egyptians used to do a long time ago, yes? So, now we are going to go a little bit further time, okay? And we are going to talk about ancient Greece, okay? 500 to 300. During this time period, the ideal woman was plump, full-bodied, light skin. Ancient Greece worship for male form going so far as to proclaim that women's body were disfigured version of men's. So, can you imagine how different it became? Because women were not the focus anymore. It was men. So it was quite strict because every man should be perfect and high-bodied and very muscled. Yes, but here it's something completely different that nowadays culture. Yes, so in this time period, men faced a much higher standard of beauty and perfection than women. Okay, so it's a very important. By the way, it's important to talk about the heroes from the ancient Greece. For example, Hercules and Zeus. Every god used to have a man body, usually very muscled and plump, as the name said, and usually light skin. Yes. So it's the idea of that era. The Han Dynasty, a little bit forward, talks about the period that ideal woman had slim waist, yes, pale skin, large eyes, and small feet. Yes, there are some pictures we might show you here, but small feet is one aspect of Chinese beauty that has continued for hundreds of years. During the Han Dynasty, Chinese culture favored slim women with long black hair, white teeth, and red lips. Historically, the Chinese people have favored women with ultra femininity. Yes, so the women should be very feminine, with very small feet, for example. Yes. So now, guys, we are going to talk about the Italian Renaissance, which is quite important because the beauty standard changed a lot. Yes, in this era, the ideal woman is described as having ample bosom, rounded stomach, full hips, fair skin. So now women were considered beautiful when they used to be a little bit, I wouldn't say fatter, but a little bit chubbier. Yes, a little bit chubby. So during the Italian Renaissance, it was the wife's duty to reflect her husband's status, both in behavior and outward appearance. A full body, light hair, and light skin, all were through of as the superior indications of beauty. Okay, here I'm going to talk a little bit in Portuguese, yes. Temos muitas palavras novas aqui e é um texto bem elaborado, então alguns podem ter um pouco de dificuldade de entender o conceito geral, tá bom? Mas lembrando, no inglês eu não quero que vocês traduzam, eu quero que vocês peguem as palavras-chave. Então, basicamente, o que nós precisamos lembrar sobre esse período, que as mulheres mais bonitas elas não eram consideradas mais magras, ao contrário, porque elas refletiam o status do marido, né? Então, aqui eu acho que tem um vocabulário mais complexo de toda a nossa apresentação, né? Então, se vocês tiverem qualquer dúvida também, deem uma olhadinha no dicionário para algumas palavrinhas mais específicas, tá bom? So, let's move on forward a little bit more in time. So, the Victorian England. Oh, there are so many good examples here for us, yes? So, this time period featured beautiful women as desirably plump, full-figured, and cinched waist. Oh, this word is quite tricky because we don't use it a lot nowadays because it's quite old and only in England, yes? I'm going to give you some examples here, okay? In this time period, the women cinched their waist with time-fitting undergarments to give the perception of their desirable hourglass figure. Hourglass, you can imagine it? Hourglass. So, this time period lasted through the reign of Queen Victoria, considered by many as one of the most influential figures of the time. So, and this is not the only thing. The hourglass figure is something that they desired a lot, and they quite deformed their own body to get that. Então, para chegar nesse formato que as pessoas almejavam naquela época, as mulheres até chegavam a deformar o próprio corpo usando essas cintas, né? Que afinavam. We can show some examples here, yes? I don't know if you ever watched the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes, so let's go through that.
You look lovely, Elizabeth. I apologize if I seem forward, but I must speak my mind. This promotion throws into sharp relief that which I have not yet achieved. A marriage to a fine woman. You have become a fine woman, Elizabeth.
I can't breathe.
Yes, I'm a bit nervous myself.
And then they made me their chief.
Elizabeth?
Elizabeth!
The rocks! Sir, it's a miracle she missed them.
Will you be saving her then?
I can't swim.
Throw her to the King's Navy, you do not lose this.
What was that?
So, going forward a little bit more in time, we are going to talk about the Roaring Twenties. The 20s, it's a little bit more recent for our grandparents, yes, I think. In this time period, the ideal woman had flat chest, downplayed waist, short bob hairstyle, and boyish figure. You can consider a new word here that they didn't use to talk a lot. It's the word androgynous. Androgynous is a very difficult word to pronounce sometimes, yes? And beauty in the 20s featured an androgynous look for women. Women even shortened their hair, leaving behind the long held belief that long hair signified beauty and desirability. Androgynous is a very nice word here, and there is a movie that I particularly love a lot. I'm going to show you here a very short part of this movie.
You just have to repent, and God takes you into his bosom. In all the worlds, in all the universe, no other creature can make such a boast, save man. It's not fair. If sweet, sweet God loves you so, then I'll make you worthy of his love. I've been watching you for a long time. It's only in the face of horror that you truly find your noblest self. And you can be so noble. So, I'll bring you pain. I'll bring you horror. So that you may rise above it. So that those of you who survive this reign of hell on earth will be worthy of God's love.
Gabriel, you're insane.
The road to salvation begins tonight. Right now.
Now, things changed very fast. In only 10 years, in the 13th, the boyish figure trend didn't last for long. Now it's the gold age of the Hollywood. I think everybody knows Marilyn Monroe. So she's a very famous singer, actress, and many other things. So fast forward a decade, and the hourglass figure is back. Remember the hourglass figure about England we talked about? Yes? The classic example of this ideal woman's body is Marilyn Monroe, the golden girl of Hollywood.
No. No, 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 no. But I prefer a man who lives and gives expensive jewelry.
The main adjectives of this era are curves, hourglass figure, large breasts, slim waist. Okay? So let's move on a little bit forward. Yes, 16th. Very, very recent, I would say. Many people nowadays love the 16th style. So this period adored this female look. Willowy, thin, long, slim legs, adolescent physique. So it was focused more in the adolescent physique, yes? So peace, love, and thin seemed to be the motto of ideal beauty for women in the 16th. Swing London, a term used to describe the flourish fashion and culture scene of London in the 16th, influenced women's dress and style in America. Guys, this style, I believe it's really recent because of a series I think everybody here likes. On Netflix you can watch that, so called Stranger Things. So let's watch just to take a look on their styles. Yes? Go ahead.
At least someone's happy I'm home. It's just a dream. You're dreaming.
Okay, now we are going to talk about the 18th, when I was born in the end of the 18th, yes, but 18th, supermodel era, yeah. This era celebrated this body type, athletic, svelte but curvy, tall, toned arms. This time period brought about an exercise-crazy phenomenon. Workout videos were all the rage, encouraging women to be thin but also fit. This era also saw an uprising in anorexia, though by some experts to be caused by a widespread obsession with exercise. So guys, you can see back there in the 80s, many advertisements about getting exercises at home, gyms at home. So they were encouraged to be fit, okay? Not necessarily healthy, but to get the ideal body considered at that time. So problems like anorexia became really up that time, unfortunately, very sad. So going forward, time a little bit, the 19th. So anorexia only got worse here. The heroin chick, the ideal body type of this time period, featured wayfish, extremely thin, translucent skin, and remember the androgynous? We are going to talk that a little bit more again. So, the celebrated body of this time period was a woman who looked thin, frail, and neglected. Very fragile, I would say, okay? Model Kate Moss was the heroine of this heroine, decayed pale, withdrawn and thin. So, as I said, they were considering body, but not healthy. It's not good at the time, but we consider that beautiful at that time. Postmodern beauty. We are getting close nowadays, yes? Nowadays, beauty, I think we consider it's very personal, yes. So this is a very good point because we are not strict to ourselves, okay? A gente não exige muito de nós mesmos. So our current beauty standards for women include flat stomach. Remember the Italy Renaissance? Yes, the flat stomach. Healthy, skinny. Remember, healthy. Okay, large breasts. Women are expected to be skinny but not too skinny, with large breasts and while maintaining a flat stomach. Women increasingly are seeking plastic surgeon fix to achieve this look. And we skipped the anorexia problem, but another problem came up, the plastic surgeons. Now they are looking for a perfect body, a perfect face, a perfect soul, a perfect everything, yes? So, what do you think? What caused these changes in beauty standards? So, in your opinion, what do you consider beautiful or not beautiful, and why? Try to brainstorming these ideas, okay? We talked about many different and many new words nowadays, okay? So, that's all for today. Não se esqueçam de olhar o Saiba Mais para se vocês tiverem qualquer dúvida também. Não esqueçam de fazer mais exercícios para praticarem os adjetivos, formem frases. E qualquer dúvida, estamos à disposição. Okidoki. So, have a wonderful day and see you. Bye bye.